Good evening. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Karen Murphy. I'm one of the high school counselors, and in the back, out in the hall, welcoming you all in, are other counselors. There's Candace Galarno, Renee Sheehan, our new counselor, Ashley Kaplan. We also have Lynn Baumgartner and Amy Knapp. Mr. Dvorak, Tom Dvorak, wasn't able to come tonight. So we have a really exciting program for you, for 10th graders and the parents, so we really appreciate you coming. I'm just going to do a quick intro. I do have things to mention at the conclusion of the program. We do have some handouts to give to you. Hopefully you have a survey. We really appreciate your feedback. That helps us tailor our programs to meet our community needs. So if you, get that completed, there's a basket out front. When you leave, there's a basket on a table as you leave. So we have three fantastic people from our community who are going to present to you. Actually, four fantastic people. These are educators at the high school level, the college level, 2- and 4-year programming. And these are things that they're going to present to you that are just going to help you kind of form some decisions about potential programs that you might choose in high school, you might plan for after high school if college is the direction for you. We could not cover everything, so we took some areas of interest that are happening in our communities in higher education and high school, and we asked these folks to address those kinds of topics. So keep in mind, there are many fantastic and fabulous programs in art, music, business, technology here at the high school. We have lots of new electives in math, science, so please pay attention to those and have your children pay attention to those as they're picking classes. We're going to start meeting with your 10th graders starting tomorrow through next Tuesday. So I just want to give you a quick direction on the high school website. Why am I looking up there when I can look right here? So if you go to the high school website, we have the high school curriculum guide, and these are the courses that are available to students to choose for next year. And that's what it looks like. So it's a PDF. We have some printed copies in our office, but we have it online for parents and students to review. So hopefully you've already done that. If you haven't yet, that's available to you. So I'm not going to take up any more time from our presenters. And what we're going to do, we're going to have 3 presenters presenting, and then at the end, we're going to do question and answer at the end for the panel, and they'll sit up here and answer your questions. So I'm going to call up Eileen Coffey. She is a high school counselor at the Career and Technical School, and she's going to review potential programs that your children might have an interest in at the Career and Technical School.
Okay, thank you very much for coming, and actually thank you to the Gilman High School Counseling Department and Administration for inviting us tonight. It's kind of a rare thing for me to do this, not in my own building, so I appreciate it. I'm a school counselor, have been one for quite a few years, and worked at the Capital Region Career Technical School for, this is being in my 19th year. Trying this very slowly. Career technical education is really a kind of niche area for some students that really creates a lot of excitement for them and changes their ideas about themselves as students and changes how they think about themselves in terms of their future. So what I'm going to give you tonight is really just some nuts and bolts things for you to think about. We really encourage you to continue getting some additional information. So I do have a short video that's really pretty new for us. It gives you a highlight. But before I click into that, I wanted to just have you think about where your kids are at developmentally. Being a high school student, being in the middle of adolescence is a challenging time. One moment you're dealing with someone who thinks that they have it all together. They're managing their activities, their academics, and their social lives. And then in the very next moment, they could have something that's really challenging for them. And suddenly it catches you that a lot of this stuff is new for them. And it's not easy. I too have a sophomore in high school. And this afternoon my daughter was crushed because her audition didn't go well.
You can stand behind the table and maybe you won't get the feedback off the speakers.
Thank you, I'll try that.
Thank you.
So I feel the excitement and I understand the joy that comes along with being a parent of a teenager, but I also understand that those challenges are very real. The other aspect of development I want you to think about is their career development. What's appropriate for a student who is approaching the second half of high school in terms of what things should they be thinking about, what are they thinking about, and what are you thinking about? Sometimes they start their first-time jobs, and they're learning how to manage that. They're talking with you about whether they've got a college orientation, whether they hate school. They're talking about a lot of things. And our job as parents as well as educators is to give them the opportunities and the supports that are going to help them in that late adolescence to make those first decisions about what are they going to do with themselves and how are they going to develop as a potential employee someday, as an employer, as a student. We want to kind of feed both sides of that. And that's where I think in some ways that Career in Tech meets so many different needs. As a high school student, to get an opportunity to try something out that maybe you thought about for a while, or to figure out some other way of reaching your academic goals and kind of helping you figure out what those next steps are. So we have a lovely new video. We hope you like it, and we're going to give it a shot right now.
You may have heard of BOCES, CTE, or even VOTEC from a parent or guidance counselor. Well, we're here to talk about you, your future, your now at Capital Region BOCES Career and Technical School. This isn't about 5 years or even 10 years from today. It's about now. The chance to seize your future, build your future, weld your future, nurse your future, and electrify your future now. The future is already happening, and Capital Region BOCES Career and Technical School is here to prepare you for it. Career and Technical Education Training is an education that looks ahead while preparing students for the real world and the needs of now. BOCES Career and Tech programs give students like you the hands-on, real-world experience that employers want and a jump start on the education you desire. Because of this, when our students enter the job market, they are the most in-demand and job-ready people around. What's a career and tech student look like? That's an easy question. They look like you. Our students are innovators, dreamers, and challenge seekers. They have a passion for building their future and the wherewithal to do it. They don't have time to worry about whether something can be done because they're too busy making it happen. They're seeking challenges and overcoming them. They ask the right questions and become the answer to the global demand for a ready and challenge-seeking workforce now. The answer to the global request for skilled workers now. The answer to tomorrow's problems now. They're the people who are driving their industries onward, upward, and forward. Their true pursuit isn't about the logo on a diploma or the signature on a paycheck, but rather making something of themselves, pursuing a passion, creating their future, a future filled with technology, excitement, drive, knowledge, and the hands-on work they desire. Career in Tech is about doing more, expecting more, achieving more, and it's about earning more than just a diploma. It's about learning while doing. It's about earning more, expecting more, being more. Capital Region BOCES Career and Technical School is about achieving success in life, about preparing for the future with the skills of the future, about living, learning, and achieving. Capital Region BOCES is about the future, your life, your career, your now.
The slide you see in front of you gives you a snapshot of an alphabetical order of the programs that we offer. Those are highly specific career and technical programs. It gives you a sense of what's there. If you see something up there that you are interested in, we want you to know those are all available at our Albany campus, which is in suburban Albany County, not too far from the airport. And you can go to the next one. We also have a number of career studies programs, which are geared towards students who may have had some academic struggles, need a little bit more of a transitional piece into their career area of choice. We actually have a new PEP technology program next year that's brand new, that I think a lot of students are going to find very enjoyable. And we have 2 off-campus programs for New Visions. And the next. And then we also, this is our second year where we have an additional campus that's part of the Montesson High School campus, Center for Advanced Technology. And there's a number of new higher tech programs that are over there as well. And if you flip through and keep going. One thing I want you to think about as you're thinking about what a career and technical education program looks like is that it's actually very well developed and has some standard things that you should look at. Sometimes if you're looking at a program, it's hard to know how to evaluate, is this worthwhile? Is this something I want my child to invest literally half of their day, potentially for 2 years? So I want you to understand that there's very standard curriculum developed for each career and technical education program that has an advisory board, and an advisory board is made up of not just our teachers and educational people, but it's also made up of people from the industry who can tell us what are the skills that students need in order to be employable and to be ready to work. Those people are really key for us. We have one person on staff whose job is primarily to learn more about what's going on out in the industry, developing those relationships, and helping us keep our curriculums current. The second piece, or an additional piece that is really important, especially in this day and age where sometimes students don't get a huge amount of opportunity to explore, is that we have work-based learning activities that are part of every single course. And what does this mean? It means that there's an opportunity for the student to demonstrate the skills that they're actually learning. So if you're in a culinary arts program, you may very well be going to the Albany Marriott for a rotation, getting off-site, doing real work. And for many of our students, that's the part that's exciting for them. They can see the connection between what they're learning in the classroom and what they're actually doing. The other thing I'm going to tell you, which has been amazing for me, coming out of more of an academic background before I came to CTE, is how passionate and experienced the teachers are. Our teachers are coming out of industry, usually doing that first, and then developing the teaching credentials to go along with it, because they want to share their knowledge and their passion in their field with the next generation. And they are an amazing group of people, highly skilled in a lot of different areas. And so when they speak to students about what it takes to do well in a particular career area, it's because they've been the boss, they've been in that career area, and they're speaking from real depth of experience. The other thing that kids really would prefer not to worry about, but we do have technical assessments. That's kind of our version of the Regents examinations, and that proves where the student's level of performance is. And we gear our programs to make sure our students are confident in those areas. And then the other thing that a lot of students are thinking about is going on for additional education. And an articulation for us is basically a post-secondary institution acknowledging that the work that they did with us in high school warrants some advanced standing in a college level program in a related area. And for many of our students, it's because they had that experience in high school becoming very highly competent in the area that's encouraged them to think about college. And that's so that when they do go to school, they have maybe a better idea what they want to accomplish when they get there, and a greater likelihood of getting through those initial steps of what's it like to be away and managing in a new environment. Okay, so why are students participating in CTE? First, we do help students to graduate. Our programs are worth 4 credits because we have them for 450 hours in a 1-year program. That's a lot of time. And that's worth 4 credits. Can you switch to the next one for a minute? Something that is definitely, I would say, a strength of our program, there is integrated academic courses. And what that means is that the math that you do in building trades is different from the math that you're going to do in heavy equipment. That the science in cosmetology is different from the science in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. It's directly applied. And what we all know is that when kids learn things related to what they like to do, they're much more motivated to learn it. And their competency level rises accordingly. The other thing that I wanted to mention about in terms of graduation is that students who take things in high school that they like to do, that they choose to do, tend to stay in school and graduate at a higher rate. So for example, as I said, I'm a parent. I don't know what my child would have done without music in high school. That was what made high school live for her. For most of the students that come through our doors, coming to CTE is the best part of their day because they really see that connection. So I think that's really important that we realize that all of the elective areas, whether they're ours, whether they're the ones right here at Illinois High School, are often the things that are helping kids get that inkling of what they may want to do somewhere down the road. So that. So in terms of how do we help explore and define their career interests? When you've spent 450 hours in 1 year in a program, you know whether you like it or not. So for example, our cosmetology program is 2 years, 1,000 hours, leading towards a license. Those students by this time in the first year really are coming to the conclusion, do they truly like this? Are they in it for the long haul? And that's what you really want students to do. Sometimes in terms of exploration, going back to that career exploration phase of their high school career, there's not always a lot of high quality exploratory experiences. And that's what our programs do in the first year. It helps them to figure that out. And when they then make that second year choice to continue or try something else, they're helping to define for themselves what they think is going to be a good next step. So sometimes they'll fall on their face and a program won't work. And sometimes they're like, wow, this is it for me. And it really helps them quite a bit. So looking for those opportunities for kids to do exploration is important. And not just in terms of what they do with us, but as a complement to all of the other exploratory things that they're doing to learn about themselves. The other one I wanted to talk about was employability skills. For us, employability skills mean two things. It means how are you in terms of your personal skills management? How is your time management? How responsible are you? How well do you respond to feedback from a supervisor, your teacher? Those soft skills are often the skills, regardless of age, that keep people on the job, advance them in their careers, or get them fired, or doors that don't open. That's half of what we teach our kids. The second half are those technical skills, the nuts and bolts of the body of knowledge that it takes to enter that profession. So those employability skills are important. So for example, if your child comes to us next year as a high school junior, come November, their teacher's going to evaluate that. They're going to sit down with them and say, well, you've been tardy X number of times. It goes directly to your work ethic and responsibility. How well are you learning the language of your occupation? Can you talk about your work using the language of your occupation? That's really critical. So usually they're doing it about November. In the spring, they're going to do it again. And the idea is that they can set goals and we can help them prioritize. What is it that's going to take you from where you are now to be really ready for a job? Whether that job is your after-school job, whether it's your initial job outside of high school, or if it's going to be using those skills for the rest of their lives. Now, I will tell you, many, many students come from homes where those skills are taught and reinforced every day. But sometimes those things get a little bit lost along the way. So those things are really important for us. In terms of the next part, we prepare students for college and for careers. Fully half of our students are interested in going on for additional training after high school. And usually when they go, they do have a clearer idea what they want to study. Can you flip through a little bit more? Keep going. So for example, right now I'm preparing for a field trip for 50 students to go visit a college. One group of kids is going to explore criminal justice. They've been in their programs for 2 years, and they're going to learn more and have connections with professionals in that field provided by that institution of higher education. The other group has been in culinary for 2 years. So they're going to go and have a lovely meal provided by their chef, go through and see demonstrations provided by one of the instructors at that college, and start to see what's it like at that college level if I were to continue my education. So that's really important. The programs that they take with us, because of the nature of the curriculums, they are rigorous, so they are well prepared to continue on in those areas of study. And the last thing I wanted to tell you about was articulation agreements. If you're not familiar with that term, what it means for us is that our programs have been evaluated by certain higher educational institutions, and they said that the work the students did warranted enough so that they could get credit for a related program at their college. And you see the Hudson Valley. There's a number of our programs that you can see up there where we have established agreements, and that's a part of what a quality CTE program is going to provide. Does every student use it? No. But if you can get 3 credits or 6 credits or sometimes 9 credits for free, I was told to take it. Why not? Gives you a chance maybe to move on and take something a little more challenging because you already have the background. Next one. Okay. In terms of next steps, because this is a very initial kind of overview experience, what I would encourage you to think about is that flyer that you might have gotten at home in the mail. Anybody got it yet? Yeah, I got it at home too. I just got a sophomore and I was like, wow, hey, my school came to my mailbox. That was pretty fun. Please come on the 26th. Usually Regents Week is kind of a quieter week for us because your students are involved in so many things at your own high school. If their time is a little bit more freed up because they're sophomores, we would encourage you to come on over, bring them with you, get to sit down with these teachers, talk to them, see what the facility is like. I think you'll be impressed. And then you'll be able to have that conversation with your child about, hey, is this something really that could be fun for you, that you would like to do? Gives you something different. The vast majority of our students are kinesthetic visual learners. That means they learn by doing and they learn by observing. So that's really critical. Then the second thing and last thing is that your high school actually gives the kids a ride over in a field trip to visit our 2 centers. So if they see a program that they're interested in, they really could see their counselor, come on over, put a culinary coat on, put you in a workshop, and we'll put you to work for a little bit and see what you think. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Our next presenter, we have, yes.
Could I ask you a couple of questions about what you said at the beginning? If students are meeting over the next week with their counselor for next year, and they decide they're interested in one of these programs, but the open house is until the 26th, can they choose to drop the classes they already picked and then sign up for that?
Yeah, they can go to the open house. You can go with them. We have those dates, February 6th and the 13th. Where we send kids over for a half-day field trip. So I think the 6th is Albany, and the 13th is the Hudson campus. So we want students to visit because they want to make sure that they know what they're getting into and they really understand what the program is all about.
And then the second part of that is if they do that for the first half of their junior year, and then decide they don't like that, how does that affect their graduation?
It can be tricky. We try to ensure that students who choose a career technical program really want to be there. Very rarely do they come back to the high school. They actually, most students, if they do want to make a change, they make that change at the end of the year. And that way they get their 4 credits. But to be honest, if it's a 2-year program, they're typically there for the full 2 years. We do our best to accommodate those changes, but they tend to stay. Yeah. So our next presenter, we are I don't know if you know this, but we have a really awesome four-year college in our community, and we have a lot of students from Guilderland who apply. We have many four-year institutions, and we rely on those four-year institutions for a lot of things. And so we're very blessed to have Jim Eaton from Siena College. He's, the Associate Director of Admissions there, and he's going to share with you, all right, four-year college, that's something that you're thinking about, you're in 10th grade, so what do you have to do to get there? How do you prepare in high school? What do you have to do? What do you have to take? And he's going to give you an overview of that, because you've only been reading 5,000 college applications recently, right? Okay. All right, so you have a video. Sure.
Wow, an awesome college. So I only had to pay her $20 to say that. Thank you guys for coming out. My name is Jim Eaton, Associate Director of Admissions at Siena College. I've had the honor of being there for the last 18 years. You guys weren't even born yet, you sophomores, huh? So I guess I'm kind of an old guy in the admissions field, but I love Siena. I'm biased. I am going to give you a presentation tonight that is a little bit biased because I love Siena. I'm hopeful that it'll be helpful. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Siena, just a brief overview. We're a four-year liberal arts college, so we are preparing students for the future as well in a different way. We believe that you need to be well-rounded. You need to be somebody who can communicate effectively. You need to be somebody who can think critically, who can solve problems and work with others. No matter what degree you get from Siena, you're going to leave after 4 years. Notice I said 4 and not 5 or 6. Because we graduate our students in 4 years, 75% do. The students we get from Guilderland typically graduate in 4 years. We generally get 20 to 25 students each year from Guilderland who come to Siena College. And you guys are going to be ready to tackle the world, whether you're going into the liberal arts, the business, or the science. We've got over 31, 32 majors. We've got another 70, 75 minors and certificate programs. I think words or a video are a little bit more powerful than words, so we're going to play a little video, give you a taste of what Siena is all about.
It's a great day to be a saint. Some of us got an earlier start than others. Got our paws on some sophisticated technology. Practiced a little saint-like behavior. Opened a few doors, metaphorically, and a whole bunch more, super politely. Engaged in some down-to-earth competition. Drew a few conclusions. We came and went the distance toward discovery and explored the human condition. We stood up, set out, climbed higher, and explored possibilities. Shot ahead by a length, fell behind by a few shenanigans, and opened a few more doors. Displayed a real hunger for knowledge. Always ready to make a difference. Preparing to join the ranks of the saints before us. Full on and totally unrestrained. Everywhere I turned, I saw saints. In color and out loud, brother to sister to brother to father? We're a school with heart in pursuit of greater inspiration that connects us forever. Just another day of living like a saint.
I love the end of that video because that truly is what Siena is all about. It's a place where we open doors for you more than one night. It's a place where people really care for you. And I do have a brochure in the back that you can grab on the way out if you are interested. And of course, I'll be around at the end if you want to chat a little bit about Siena. But the reason why they asked me to come tonight was to talk a little about where you guys are as sophomores in high school and what you need to do in order to be successful and get into a four-year school like Siena. So for the past about 2 months, I feel like it's been forever, I've been in my office reading admissions files. I've got a stack like this waiting for me tomorrow when I get in, so it's kind of nice to be out talking tonight. So when I look at these admissions files, what we're looking at is we're looking at the entire application. Now, when you apply to a school like Siena or a four-year school, you have to fill out an application. A lot of students are using the Common App nowadays, and that's easy because you can fill that out and you can send it to multiple schools just by filling out one application. So August 1st, going into your senior year, that's when the Common App goes live, and you guys can all have a big party, right? Celebrate that, I can finally start applying to college. So we require the Common Application. We also require a letter of recommendation from your high school counselor, and we require a high school transcript. And that could be the minimum amount that you need to be accepted to Siena. Now, the most important thing that we're looking at is that high school transcript. What classes have you taken grades 9, 10, 11, and 12? How much have you challenged yourself? And of course, how well have you done? Now, if you're applying to our school of business, what do you think I'm looking at most importantly? What classes? Take a guess. Take a guess. You got a time, I'm gonna make you take a guess. Math, yes, math. So we're looking at your math background. So it always kills me when I have a student applying for our business school and math is their weakest subject. Because you're gonna involve a lot of math courses as a business major at Siena. If you're applying to our science programs, we'll look very closely at your science background. And if you're looking to be a teacher, if you're going into liberal arts, we're gonna look at your English and history, social studies background. But we look at 5 core subjects, okay? We look at English, history, math, science, and foreign language. Those are the 5 classes that we care about. Not that we don't care about phys ed and all the other classes that you take, but those are the classes we look at in determining whether or not you're going to be successful at Siena. We want to accept students who are not only going to retain, which 90% of our students do, but graduate in that 4-year time period, which 75% of our students do. Now, the national average is only 45%, so that's why we're so proud that we're doing well. So we look at those 5 core subjects. Now, as you become a junior and you go into your senior year, it's very easy to say, well, I met all my requirements in foreign language, or I met all my requirements in math, or I met all my requirements in science. We still want to see you continue to take those classes. We have data that shows that students who take pre-calculus, and students who take physics, and students who take 3 years of a foreign language are more successful in college than students who don't. So we'd rather see you take those classes and struggle a little bit than not take those courses, okay? We do look at your testing, your reading scores, your local exams. And if you're a student who maybe does a little bit better in a regular class versus the testing, it's not the end of the world. But we might want to ask, well, what's going on? Do you have some sort of test anxiety, or is there something going on when it comes to testing? And if so, you might want to find a school that's able to help you and give you support services like a school like Siena. Our average class size is 20 students, so we get to know our students pretty well, and if they need something, we're able to accommodate them for that. So we look at those 5 core subjects. We're also a test optional college, which means we don't require the SAT or ACT, but only if you have the right classes. So you're going to need pre-calc, you're going to need physics, and you're going to need 3 years of foreign language to apply to Siena as a test optional school. Now keep in mind what I'm saying is from Siena, and typically most 4-year schools are going to have similar requirements like this. Some schools are going to be a little bit more selective than others. We are looking for about an 85 high school average. If the student does take the SAT or ACT, we're going to look at about a 1080, 1220 range in the SAT, mid-20s, 25, 26 or above on the ACT. If you're a student who maybe had a rough freshman year or sophomore year, but then you start rallying junior and senior year, that's great. We like to take students in that are going like that route versus the other route, okay? If you're somebody who might be borderline 85, maybe your test scores aren't so great, the biggest piece of advice I will give you, and you should do this anyway, no matter how low your grades are, is visit a college campus. Step foot on that campus. Now, we're local. I bet that there's a few of you that know students at Siena right now. Even if you do, make sure that you go and register your visit with the admissions office, because one of the first things I'm doing when I'm reading a file, especially if it's somebody from Gilliland High School, which is about a 25, 30-minute drive away from Siena, have they visited? Have they stepped foot on our campus? I won't know that you have unless you register your visit with Siena, with the admissions office. Even if you're going 4 hours away to Fredonia or wherever, make sure that you register that visit when you visit on campus, because that's one of the things we're looking at when we're reviewing the file, is have they stepped foot on this campus. If you have, I know you're a little bit more interested and more willing to take a chance on admitting that student. All right, so I think we'll save questions for the end, and I'll turn it back over to Karen. Thanks.
Thank you. So, in addition to Career Technical Schools, Siena College in our community, we also have a really very well-renowned community college. Many of you have heard. Many Gilderland High School students attend community college for a variety of reasons. And we're going to get more information on some specific programs that, hopefully will maybe answer some of the questions that you have specifically about engineering technology versus engineering science. We have a lot of students here who are interested in math, science, physics, and engineering. So we're going to welcome up Rebecca Marincelli. She's an admissions counselor at Hudson Valley Community College, and she also brought with her Dr. Christine LaPlante, who is the chairperson for the technology department. Engineering and Industrial Technology.
Hello there. Wow, what a great turnout. This is wonderful. Very excited to be here. And I do have to say that I'm also biased. I love Hudson Valley. I love what it does for students and how the college prepares them to go on for a 4-year, or actually prepares them for the workforce. So the one thing that I want to acknowledge, and that is that a community college is used for various reasons. And one is the fact that if you don't have the prerequisites or your GPA is low, they come to Hudson Valley to raise that GPA up so that they can go to the college of their choice. And also to be able to apply for any scholarships. Another reason would be the fact of they're not quite sure what they want to do. So it is a very inexpensive way to find out, well, what is my interest? Where are my gifts? My skill level. So that's one of the things that students use our community college for, is to explore. And it's inexpensive. And I'll just give you an example of a student who actually was $50,000 in debt. She was only in her early 20s, and she owes the school, that money. And the reason for that, she said, was because she kept on changing her mind. So it can be a real critical problem if that student just keeps changing their mind at an expensive school. So that's what Hudson Valley is also used for. We have math tutoring, we have writing, science, that really truly prepares the student and helps them with their math, and also acclimates them to that college lifestyle. Because let's face it, there's a lot more work involved when you enter college than there is at the high school level.
So, and another reason, can you hear me? Because that feedback is horrible. Another reason sometimes students go to Hudson Valley too is because they're not ready to go on to a 4-year school, and that's okay. And it's better that they think about that in advance and go on Hudson Valley first. And someone will stay a year and they transfer on. I have several Clarkson students now in my engineering and engineering technology programs, and several even RPS students that have come in January. They just were not ready. So think about that too. Some kids are just not ready. They still want the college experience. They can live away from the home now. We have not dorms, but we do have apartments, and they are very, very nice. So they can still have that experience but still be close. So that's just something else to think about.
Now, our engineering science degree, okay, what is the prerequisites for that? Algebra, geometry, trig, pre-calc, physics, and chem with a 90 or above and a 90 overall average. There is a back door to that, and that's through liberal arts, math, and science. You need an algebra, a geometry, a trig with an 85, a chemistry and a bio with an 85. And that is still under the same advisor, okay? Then we have our engineering technology degrees, and you need an algebra geometry. But hold on now. So does that mean that I stop and at the geometry level, and then I don't do any more math for 11th and 12th? Wrong, okay? And Dr. LaPlante is going to explain the importance of math.
Okay, so we have engineering science. Can you hear me now? Is this okay? Because I think this is a better distance. We have engineering science and engineering technology. The degree is engineering. The direction is applied or science. Difference being applied is what we call engineering technology. And that's your algebra, geometry, and trig is what you mostly use in those fields. But you still take Calc 1, Calc 2, and differential equations. You take them, though, in your junior and senior years of college, not in your freshman and sophomore year. Then they have the engineering science program, which is a science-based program where you take your calcs right up front. It's more emphasis on the theory and the science piece, not so much applied. And a student, I'm getting really good at this now. I've been doing this for about 25 years. And I'm getting really good at seeing that applied student as opposed to that science student. And you as a parent can see it too. If your child doesn't want to touch, do, or work on anything, and they move away from a machine or any kind of structural type thing where they have to use their hands, that doesn't mean they're not an engineer. They just may not be an applied engineer. They may be more of a science-based engineer, and that's okay. That's a science-type engineer. But if they like to do, touch, feel, manipulate, work, build, then they really might be the applied engineer, and they might get really frustrated in the science of the area of engineering. They both, and civil is a good one to look at, because civil, they're so close. Civils work in algebra, geometry, and trig, civil engineers. Civil engineering technology work algebra, geometry, and trig. Civil engineering technology and civil engineering both can license. They follow the same path to licensing. Once they're licensed, they're a professional engineer. There are a little bit different time frames that they have to follow, but they're all within relatively the same area. Mechanical, same thing. Mechanical engineering and mechanical engineering technology, very similar. A little bit different mechanical, because mechanical engineering, things move. They rotate, motion, dynamics. So you may have to jump into the calc realm of things a little bit quicker than you do in the technology realm. So mechanical engineering, you have to really decide. I always say to the kids, do you want to design the space station? Are you looking at designing high-level NASA products? Well, then I think you might want mechanical engineering. But if you're looking at day-to-day mechanical engineering, car parts, car engine, motion, rotation, and you like to use your hands, you might be applying with engineering technology. So it sometimes can be confusing between the two, but it's very important that they understand that it's an engineering degree, it's the direction you take. And a student who may struggle in math a little bit in calculus, and Calc 1, Calc 2, gets confused, but says, I want engineering, shouldn't be deterred. Because they may want to apply, engineering applied, and we should be able to. And I have to say the CTE is my favorite place, because no engineer is going to understand what they're doing. They don't touch and feel somewhere. If they can go there first and then come to me, I can move them so far. So it's very important. The math all the way through. We use math in everything. I tell the kids, look around you. Triangles, squares, rectangles, all math. You are building homes. You have to order materials. You need to do Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's Pythagorean theorem. But to me as a builder, I have 250 homes in a residential complex. If I don't buy the diagonal for the roof and I buy the vertical, I just lost all this money because I didn't get the right size. And I buy my fiber. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared means a lot to me. So all of that math does. Volume, very important. Areas of circle, all that kind of stuff is important, and you can't forget it. So math, you have to continue with that math. It's a way of thinking. Engineering is thinking, multitasking, putting things together, solving a problem, and that's all math. So you really have to continue with that math as you go.
What about the education? Now, with the technology, engineering technology, they are possibly able to get an entry-level job and then go on to a bachelor's. How about a master's?
Okay, so I consider the engineering technology degree the best bang for your buck because you can get 2 years of engineering technology degree applied and you can go out and work. Or you can go on and transfer to a 4-year school and get a 4-year degree in engineering technology and go out and work. Or you can go on and get a master's, and that master's can be in engineering, science, or a higher level engineering theory base. It can be in engineering technology, and you can go on anyway in that area. I like the engineering technology for the fact that if a student isn't quite sure in their math area, but they like what they do, or they only want to stop, they want to take 2 years of schooling and stop for a little bit and work a little bit, they can, because they have a skill. They're not sitting there with a bunch of science and math courses and not being able to do something with them. They actually have a skill they can use and then go on as they choose to. And I don't knock engineering. I have a 4-year degree from RPI and my PhD is from RPI. But I will tell you, I struggled in engineering because I didn't have the technical skills because they do not teach the technical skills. Those are skills you need to learn on your own or on the job. The problem is, when I went to school many, many years ago, you could learn the technical skills because they weren't very basic. But technology isn't basic anymore. Technology is complicated, and you need to understand technology, so you really need the technical skill. So yes, you can want to get a master's, and you can want to get a PhD from engineering technology.
Okay, the accreditation.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Okay, Sienna, we talked about, at the school and how it's important, and love Sienna. My godson graduated, it's doing awesome. Art, we went to county, doing wonderful from Sienna. Accreditation is a key, and that's something that you have to look for as a student when you're a parent. You have to look for an accredited college. And in engineering, you have to look for ABET accreditation. It has to be an ABET accredited program if you're thinking about licensing. It makes your step to licensing so much easier. So you want to look for ABET accredited. Engineering technology programs are accredited, and engineering science programs are not. So you want to make sure that you look for an ABET accredited program. Civil engineering, RPI, mechanical engineering, they are accredited. So you want to look for that. Architecture, NAAB is very important. For an architecture program, again, accreditation is key. If you're going to be a working architect, you're going to be licensing, and you need to be in an accredited school. The University of Buffalo is one of the only SUNY schools right now that holds an accreditation. So keep that in mind. Several other schools are looking at that. 2-year colleges are not accredited in architecture because they do not accredit 2-year colleges. I'm talking fast, I apologize.
The similarity.
Similarities between engineering and technology. The big difference is math. It is where you get that math. The math is the same, it's just when do you get it. You get that math later in technology than you do in engineering science. The other difference is the level of the amount of technology you do. When we were changed, when a 4-year degree was changed from 132 credits to 124 credits and sometimes 126, they removed technical electives and kept the general education electives. When they did that, they took technology out of, some of the technology courses out of engineering, which makes it very difficult for an engineering science program like RPI to get in the hands-on courses that they need, that the students need. AutoCAD, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that, is not an easy course to learn on your own. It's something that you really need a class in, but it's not something you get in a 4-year engineering school because it's not, they don't feel that they can squeeze it in. It's a skill that you are going to be coming back to Hudson Valley 19 because it's a difficult course to learn. Any of those type of programs can be very difficult. Does that answer?
Okay, these are all the programs that are under the School of Engineering and Industrial Technologies, okay? Because some of you had asked about advanced manufacturing. We do have the architectural, construction, electrical construction, maintenance. That is where National Grid hires our students directly from that program and the line worker together. they get jobs. But you have to have both. You have to have both the degree and the line worker certificate. Advanced manufacturing, GE hires many of our students. Waterville Darstone, okay? Right now, we are, and what happens is, this is what's great about Hudson Valley, community college, we're helping the community. So a lot of these prestigious companies, they come in and they say, listen, Hudson Valley, can you train your students and as well as our employees how to run a machine? And so that's where a lot of our programs are developed, is through the demands from the community. So that's one of the pluses of Hudson Valley. Yeah.
Okay, so if I was a 10th grader, I'd be wondering, what is all these programs and what do they mean? So in a kind of a quick overview, the differences. Civil engineering are things, civil engineering, and I'm going to combine engineering and technology as one, because what they do is the same. But civil engineers is stand still, doesn't move. Mechanical engineers move. Electrical engineers, you have to be able to think in theory because you really don't see it. You have to be able to visualize things moving in waves. Let's see. Biomedical is just a very good mechanical engineer with biology emphasis in their electives. Chemical engineering, you're going to be dealing with, could be an environmental emphasis, or you could be dealing actually with chemicals, products. You will like to be in a lab, you might be mixing and trying different chemical reactions. Chemical. I'm just trying to go over engineering. Manufacturing is can be a form of mechanical, a branch where you might be getting into manufacturing engineering. You're dealing with materials, metals, products. RIT has a beautiful package engineering program that they can't get enough people in, that they are desperate for people in, and they're putting the kids right in, right out to jobs, and the kids are making about $90,000 to start. It's unbelievable. They keep calling and looking for people. So that's the packaging, and that comes to packaging. Computer, we have computer-aided engineering. Computer, you could either be a software computer person doing computer science, or you could be building the computer engineering. You also could be an electrical engineer building a computer, and then you could be doing the computer-aided design, or you're just working with different computer drafting type programs. That's all engineering, right? Automotive, you like cars. So now automotive is huge now. It's no longer just banging on the car. You have to understand computers because everything's computerized, and the electrical cars. So you have to be comfortable with that. Sustainability, wind, photovoltaic, all our pieces of. If you really are interested in sustainability, you might be an architecture person because the architecture are the ones that spec the sustainability and what's being used. The mechanical engineer is the person who puts it in the building, or the wind turbine, working with any of the power, and the electrical guy, the electrical engineer might be dealing with the solar and solar panels.
As you can see up here, here are some employment opportunities under each of our degree programs. And that is when you graduate from these degree programs, you can go into any of these companies. Or you can get your bachelor's degree like Clough Harper and Associates, a great engineering company. Both Chris and I worked at that company together. And GE, as you can see, electrical engineering, electronics. Let me see, field engineers, advanced manufacturing, so about 30, 40 employers listed on our website. I couldn't list them all. Michaels. So there's just several employment opportunities under our degree programs.
We do really, really well placing students. The builders, we get emails all the time from builders. I place all of my construction students between their freshman and senior year with all our builders. So they get like a hands-on experience where they get paid. They have the opportunity, now not all of them take them because a lot of them come in with jobs. Any one of them that come from the CET there, CET, have a job already, typically. And then they're just getting their degree, and maybe they don't want to be swinging a hammer for the rest of their life. They don't want to project manage, so they'll come to me at night and get their degree in construction management. Then they'll do the online offer for 2 years and get their 4-year degree in construction management. Then they can sit licensed now as construction manager. So there's all these paths for these students, ways that they can go on in education, but also be working and making decent salaries as they go. I tell people master carpenters, my master carpenter makes $45 an hour. That's good money, and they're learning how to put buildings together. So then they make wonderful architects, and a lot of them do that. They'll come back and they'll do an architectural degree. So there's a lot of opportunity in the hands-on trades to brush them off because they're hands-on. They actually can do very well in them. We have, like I said, all builders, the engineering firms, they tend to not have the difficulty in a job if they want them after the 2 years. And then when they go on to their 4-year, a lot of them co-op. A lot of the kids transfer to RIT. We have a 2-2 with RIT, and they have to do a co-op. So they'll come back to co-op in the area, and then they'll head back out again.
We had one student, and I use him quite often, and that is that what he did was he actually graduated with 2 degrees and a certificate. And he had National Grid looking at him. He had Global Foundries, GE, Waterloo Arsenal, because of the fact that he had an expertise in more than one area. So he was able to choose the company that he wanted. Plus, that the market changes all the time. So it's good to have a backup plan. And it's good to, if you can, stick it out and get more than 1 degree. Okay, because that helps you, it helps you to be more marketable out there, so that if there's layoffs or something at maybe GE, then you have a backup plan where maybe Global Foundries could use you. So I thought that was an excellent idea of this student, what he did, because he positioned himself. So what I have here for handouts is that they're handouts just to show you, and it's only 15, I only made 15 copies, I didn't, so 1 per family, as much as I can. But what it is it tells you the difference between a mechanical engineer and a mechanical engineering tech, and the responsibility, the skill set, the knowledge that the mechanical engineer needs to have, and then the mechanical technologist. What do they need to know, okay, and the differences. And you're going to find, and am I correct on this, that they both intertwine with each other, very much so.
They're very, very similar in what they require for their basic knowledge. Very similar. And you'll see you have civil too. Mechanical, civil, construction. You're going to see huge overlaps between architecture, civil, and construction. So I tell people that if you're interested in architecture, you have to like art, because architecture is engineering with art. You will be drawing, you will be color coordinating, you have to really like art, because that's what you're doing. You're doing visualization with art, so you have to like art. But you also like math and science, perfect architect.
One thing I want to compliment Dr. Plana is that while I'm working with her, and I work very closely with her, one of the things that she does is she helps the student. Now, we already heard about this, but articulation agreements that we have with other colleges. Dr. LaPlante will literally go with the student to the college and negotiate if that need be. She is just an advocate for our students, and I appreciate that very much from her. And the fact that she really does such a terrific job with the students, and that's her #1 priority.
Make sure they get to where they want to go, and then they end up with the degree they want. That's the goal.
So our end message would be stay in math, stay in math, stay in math.
And science.
Okay, and science. Okay, it's like you had mentioned, Jeff, the fact of even if you're struggling, the fact that you have taken it gives you that knowledge that you didn't have. You may not have passed the course, but you know what it's about and you have experience doing it. And that will prepare you for when you get in college that you might have to repeat that course, but at least you have the knowledge. You have some knowledge and background knowledge by taking it in high school.
Okay, that's fantastic, thank you. So I'm going to ask our presenters, thank you, just to come up quick, if you don't mind joining us at this table, we're going to take a seat, and we're not going to do Donahue style, I'm not going to be running up and down the aisles, because I'll trip and fall, but if anybody has a question you'd like to ask one of our presenters, maybe we can just pass the microphone back and forth, hopefully we won't get too much feedback. So we have about maybe 5 or 10 minutes for questions. And in terms of handouts, we have handouts out here. We also have handouts as you leave. It's the same information with regard to the Hudson Valley. If we don't have enough, I'll take a copy and you can either email me or your school counselor and we'll get that out to you. Any questions? Yes.
I guess this question, I guess it would be for anyone but Jim specifically. How much emphasis do you place on students' social media profile when you're making admission determinations?
Okay, so the question is about social media profile for college admissions.
We do look at that. Over the years, I've always kind of cracked up because I'm a human being when students fill out the inquiry card and they have, an email address that might not be appropriate. We look at that. We do have the ability to look online for social media profiles. Sometimes the student might have some sort of disciplinary action that happens and they have to report that on the application. And if we see that, that's also a red flag to us as well. But I would say, prepare like you're interviewing for a job when you're interviewing at colleges and put your best foot forward and be very careful what you put out there on social media. And I know a lot of school districts now are having educational programs to kind of help students because they don't realize once they hit enter or send, the world can see it. So be careful.
Anybody else? Any questions? Yes.
Would you rather see a student that takes an honors course and gets a 95, or someone that takes an AP course and gets an 85?
Okay, so the question is curriculum when students challenge themselves with an AP course, maybe a little bit of a lower grade in that course compared to maybe an honors with a higher grade. Is it Jim that you want to ask? Oh.
He's calling me because I called him earlier, right? We would rather see the AP class because you're going to have 85% knowledge based on a topic that's going to help you in college. And the other reason to take the AP is if you get a 4 or higher, that class is going to transfer into us at Siena. So you'll earn those college credits. So we would rather see you challenge yourself and struggle versus taking the honors course.
Any other questions in the back?
How important are extracurricular activities on applications?
Okay, on the college applications, extracurricular activities.
Keep them coming, I'm here all night. We look at that. We have at Siena over 80 different clubs and activities on campus, and we're looking for students who are going to become actively involved in our community. So we do look at that because that tells us a little bit about the student outside of the classroom. We would rather see students who are captain of the cheerleading team, president of the whatever club, versus someone who's involved in 7, 8, 9 different clubs. We'd like to see students who have leadership goals because we believe those are students who are going to be successful at Siena. But we do look at that, and I would also tell students, and it's not too early as a sophomore to start thinking about this, preparing a resume, because that's going to help you when you're looking for your first job. In high school, it's going to help you when you apply to colleges. We want to see what you're doing outside the classroom.
Yeah.
I just want to add that even though we don't require that, what I do encourage students to do is to, with a degree that they're interested in, is to try to maybe do something in the summer, a part-time job, something that is associated with the degree that you are interested in doing. Because that's going to tell you a lot about what that individual does on a daily basis. Plus, they also get to know your face. And if you're a good worker, if you're a hard worker, that's gonna be something that is gonna be noted too. When I worked at Clough Harbor, that was something that they did, is that any student workers that came in during the summer, they would, of course, they would go on and get their bachelor's degree, but they remembered that person because they had hired them at one time.
Another reason from you guys, the sophomores, is you get a chance to say, hey, is this what I want to do? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? If you get an opportunity to volunteer in a hospital, if you're looking to become a doctor, or spend a day with a local lawyer, if you're interested in law, that's a great way for you guys to kind of narrow down your career fields, because there's a lot of opportunities out there, and I'm sure the majority of you sophomores here tonight probably don't know what you want to do. I know I did when I was a sophomore, and that's okay. So start experimenting, start reaching out and talking to people in those professions. And it's not uncommon to see families have a history of educators or lawyers or doctors, so if mom and dad are doing the same thing, I know you don't want to do that right now, but look into it, make it worthwhile.
Any other questions? And just one comment that I kind of is at the forefront of my mind. I don't want to think of these programs at the high school, two-year college, or four-year college as exclusive of each other. Oftentimes, they're overlapping. We have people who start in a career and move on to two-year, maybe eventually 4 years. Sometimes they go to 4 year and then they end up, they need a 2-year degree for something, like Dr. LaPlante was saying. So, we try to make a presentation to, hit on that point. I am going to just review a couple of handouts that we're going to have so that you can get on your way out, and there's also the same things right up front. We are going to be handing out the pre-ACT, you heard Jim talk about it. Pre-ACT, well, we heard about the ACT, the pre-ACT registration form. We're not in a position to collect payment tonight, but we're handing this out tonight. If you wish to collect it, we're going to give it to every sophomore that we see at scheduling. So you can get it tonight, and then your child's going to get it when they see their counselor, so that's that. The other thing that we have is, why take the ACT? So the ACT is one of the college admissions tests, the SAT is the other, so there's just a quick info on that. You're welcome to take that. And then we put together the 5 major types of tests students could potentially take in high school. These are college admissions tests, so a little explanation of what those things are. And if you ever have a question about, should I take a test, when should I take a test, always ask your school counselor. We're all well equipped to answer those questions. And then out front, Eileen Coffey brought us some CTE catalogs. If you'd like to grab one of those are out front. There's some over here too. And Jim brought some Sienna catalogs, flyer, so those are available. And then we do have some Hudson Valley things. If we can't get one for everyone, I'm going to take a copy. You can email me or your school counselor, and we can scan it and send it to you or get it to you, so that way you'll have that information as well. Thank you. We really appreciate you coming out tonight. Hopefully this helps you make decisions as your child makes choices about courses and so forth. Thank you.